There are moments in life that define who we are. But some moments break us first. What do you do when the person who believed in you the most is gone? And the whole world is watching to see if you'll fall apart. This is not just a football story. This is about a son, a father, and the game that held them together. Even after goodbye. The call he didn't answer. It was match day. The sky over Manchester was thick, gray, heavy. But that wasn't why Ronaldo felt off. He sat in the locker room, staring at the floor. Laces tied. Jersey on. Muscles ready. Heart? Not really. An hour before the match, he'd missed a call. A number from Madeira. He didn't pick up. Something in him didn't want to know. He told himself it was nothing. Maybe an aunt. Maybe his mother calling too early, forgetting the time difference again. But it wasn't that. He knew it. In his chest, he knew. Sir Alex walked by, giving his usual nod. "Ready, lad?" Ronaldo looked up, forced a smile. Always. But he wasn't. Not tonight. The squad lined up in the tunnel. Jerseys fresh. Boots clean. Cameras waiting. Ronaldo stood among them, silent. His hands cold. He looked down the tunnel. Saw the light. Heard the chants. And just then, his phone buzzed again. He glanced at it. Same number. He turned it face down. No. Not now. Not before the game. The whistle blew. Players ran out. Old Trafford roared. Ronaldo jogged out too, but inside, it felt like he was watching himself from a distance. The ball rolled. He passed. Ran. Pressed. But something was missing. His fire. His rhythm. His reason. 20 minutes in, he miscontrolled a simple pass. Sir Alex shouted something, but he didn't hear it. All he could hear was his own breath. Shaky. Off-tempo. Like the air didn't quite fit his lungs. At halftime, he sat alone. Didn't touch his water. Didn't speak. Giggs leaned over. "You good?" Ronaldo nodded. Lie. Inside, the silence was screaming. He grabbed his phone again. Checked the call log. 3 missed calls. 1 voicemail. He didn't listen. Not yet. The second half started. This time, he ran harder. Pushed more. Like he could outrun the truth chasing him. He scored in the 74th minute. It wasn't a beauty. Just a tap-in after a deflection. But he didn't celebrate. He just stood there, staring at the net. His teammates ran over, cheering. Slapping his back. But he felt none of it. Just the weight in his chest. After the match, in the locker room, as others laughed and shouted and sang, he slipped out. Quiet. Hoodie up. Phone in hand. He listened to the voicemail. It was his uncle. Whispering. Choked up. Cristiano, he's gone. His father. The man who never saw him truly become what he dreamed of. Was gone. And Ronaldo? He had just played the best game of the season. He sat in the hallway. Alone. Phone in hand. Tears running silently. Not from the news. But from the guilt. He hadn't answered the call. And now, there would be no more calls. The whistle nobody heard. The next morning, Ronaldo didn't go to training. Not because the club told him to rest. Not because Sir Alex gave him a break. But because he couldn't move. He sat by the window of his flat, still wearing yesterday's hoodie, the one that smelled like sweat and Old Trafford. The curtains were half open. Manchester rain tapped the glass like a ticking clock. He stared out. But he wasn't really watching. His mind was stuck on a loop. The last few minutes of the voicemail. The way his uncle's voice cracked. The silence that followed. In the moment he realized, he would never hear his father's voice again. No more cheers. No more half-drunken laughs over long-distance calls. No more "did you win?" or "I saw your goal." Nothing. He pressed his phone against his forehead. Closed his eyes. His chest felt like it had a weight tied to it. There was a knock at the door. He didn't answer. A minute passed. Another knock. Then, "Ronaldo." "It's Giggsy." Silence. Giggs waited. "I brought food. Don't worry. It's not English breakfast." Still nothing. "I'm leaving it by the door, all right?" Footsteps walked away. Ronaldo slowly stood. Opened the door. Took the bag. Inside, a sandwich and a folded note. He opened it. Handwritten. "You don't have to talk. Just don't be alone." That hit harder than any tackle. He sat back down, this time with the sandwich untouched, but the note in his hand. He read it 3 times. Folded it. Put it in his notebook. Then his phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't family. It was Sir Alex. 1-word text. "Come." He didn't ask where. He already knew. Ronaldo showered. Changed. Hoodie again, same one. Got into the club car. Drove in silence. Carrington was quiet. No reporters. No cameras. He walked in through the side door. Sir Alex was waiting in his office. No tie. Sleeves rolled. He looked up, nodded once. Ronaldo sat. They didn't talk for a while. Finally, Sir Alex leaned forward. "You know you don't have to prove anything right now, son." Ronaldo nodded. Another silence. Sir Alex continued. "But you will want to. Because you're built that way. But grief's not a match. You don't win it. You carry it." Ronaldo blinked. That line stuck. "You carry it." He left the office without saying much. But something had shifted. It wasn't just the sadness now. It was purpose. He went back home. Opened his notebook. The same one he wrote in before every game. On a new page, he scribbled one line. "I'll make him proud in silence." That night, while the world moved on with goals, games, and news, Ronaldo trained. Alone. No music. No noise. Just the sound of his own breath. And a whistle no one else could hear. The day the game felt different. 3 days later, he was back in the lineup. Sir Alex didn't ask. He just nodded at the training ground that morning and said, "Saturday. Be ready." Ronaldo didn't nod back. He just sprinted. Harder than usual. Not to impress. Not to distract. But to feel something again. Saturday came faster than expected. The locker room was loud. Laughter. Banter. He sat in his corner, headphones on. But no music played. He just needed the silence to look like noise. On the wall across from him was a photo. A black and white shot of Cantona in midair, collar up. Fierce. Commanding. Under it, a quote. "Make the game yours." He kept staring at that photo. When the kit man dropped the jersey at his feet, Ronaldo stared at the back. Number 7. He pressed the fabric in his hands. Not just a number. A legacy. A responsibility. A promise. He put it on. The tunnel felt different this time. Not because of the crowd. Not because of the stakes. But because this was the first time he walked into a match, with a hole inside him. No one knew. No one needed to. The whistle blew. The game started. And for the first 10 minutes, he was invisible. He ran. Positioned. Called for the ball. Nothing. He could feel the doubt creeping in. Like whispers behind his eyes. You're not here. You're tired. You shouldn't have come. Then, a poor pass from the opponent. Giggs intercepted. Quick look. Ball to Ronaldo. He took it in stride. Step over. Shoulder dip. Defender bought it. Wrong foot. He cut inside. Another challenge. Quick touch. Now the box. A flash of white. Teammate screaming for the pass. He didn't pass. He curled it, low, far post. The net rippled. Goal. Old Trafford exploded. But he didn't celebrate. He just jogged back to the center. Focused. Controlled. Like a man on a mission, not a boy chasing glory. Commentators said it was clinical. What they didn't see was that in his mind, as the ball left his foot. He whispered, "That one's for you, Pi." The game went on. He assisted another goal. Won a foul that led to a third. But none of that mattered. What mattered was the look Sir Alex gave him at full time. It wasn't a smile. It wasn't praise. It was acknowledgement. And sometimes, that's all grief asks for. In the locker room, the music was back on. Some players danced. Others joked. Ronaldo sat, shoes off, jersey soaked. He took out his notebook. Under his last entry, he wrote, "I don't play despite the pain. I play with it." And for the first time in days, he felt a little lighter. The words he never said out loud. Sunday morning. No alarms. No noise. Just light bleeding through the blinds. Ronaldo woke up slower than usual. Not from exhaustion, but from something unfamiliar, stillness. The house was quiet. No buzz of match day. No schedule. Just a pause. He made coffee. Sat at the small kitchen table. Flipped open his notebook again. The words from last night stared back at him. "I don't play despite the pain. I play with it." He read them twice. Then 3 times. Then flipped back to an earlier page. One from his sporting days. A list of goals scribbled in messy Portuguese. Make first team. Buy mom a house. Make dad proud. He stared at the third line for a long time. He hadn't crossed it out. But today, maybe he could. His phone buzzed. A message from his sister. "We're proud of you." He would be too. He smiled. Not fully. But it was real. Later that day, he went to the training ground. Not for practice, just to move. To feel the ball again. The pitch was empty. He brought his boots anyway. Alone under the gray sky, he juggled the ball. Light touches. No drills. No speed. Just rhythm. At one point, he stopped. Let the ball bounce. Caught it. Looked up at the empty stands. He walked to the sideline. Sat down on the bench where subs usually waited. And for the first time since the call, he whispered something out loud. Not a prayer. Not a speech. Just one sentence. "Pi. I hope you saw that." It wasn't poetic. It wasn't loud. But it was honest. He sat there for a while, letting the cold bench seep through his track pants. Letting the quiet wash over him. Before he left, he walked back to midfield. Placed the ball down. One step. Then another. He kicked it. straight into the empty net. No crowd. No reaction. But inside him, something shifted. The words he never said out loud? He'd finally let them go. And in doing so, he realized something. This journey, this fight, it wasn't about proving the world wrong anymore. It was about proving one man right. The one who believed in him before anyone else did. His father. The game he played with tears in his boots. The next fixture was away. Big match. Packed stadium. Lights so bright they turned night into day. But for Ronaldo, the real weight wasn't in the opponent. It was in the boots. Not literally. But with every lace he tied, he felt it. The weight of everything he hadn't said. Everything he still carried. In the locker room, players buzzed with nerves and rituals. Some prayed. Some joked. Some paced. He just sat, staring at his cleats. They were polished. Perfect. But in his mind, they were still muddy and torn like the ones from his childhood, the pair his mom patched together from trash because they couldn't afford new ones. He smiled at the memory. Then closed his eyes. And for just a second, he imagined his father in the crowd. One hand in the air. Shouting something embarrassing. Proud. Loud. Completely himself. Then the coach called out, "Game time." He stood. Walked into the tunnel. The roar of the stadium hit him like a wave. But he didn't flinch. The whistle blew. First touch. Clean. Second touch. Burst of pace. Third touch. Shot off the post. Close. He clenched his fists. Not from anger. Just focus. Then a teammate fed him a through ball. He took it in stride. One defender. Gone. Another. Slipped. He was in. Keeper rushing. Crowd rising. He chipped it. Silence, just for a second. Then eruption. Goal. He didn't celebrate. Instead, he looked up. The cameras thought it was theatrics. But it wasn't. It was memory. It was thanks. It was, "Did you see that, Pi?" He jogged back, teammates tapping his back, ruffling his hair. Inside, he felt something crack. Not pain. Not sadness. Just release. When the final whistle blew, he didn't raise his arms. Didn't do his usual pose. He walked to the bench. Grabbed his water. Sat down. Took off his boots slowly. And when no one was looking, he wiped his eyes. Later that night, back in his room, he opened the notebook one last time. He added a new line. "I played for the world. But I ran for you." Then he closed it. Placed it on the nightstand. And finally, slept. This time, without the weight. He didn't wear pain like a badge. He wore it inside his boots, inside his heartbeat, inside every sprint. That night, Ronaldo didn't just win a game. He won a battle no one else could see. And maybe, that's what greatness really is. Not the goals. Not the trophies. But the quiet strength to keep going, when no one would have blamed you for stopping. If this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe. Because here, every legend has a heartbeat.